Let me just get my screen, share my screen with our schedule for today. All right, okay, so good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this webinar on pursuing a creative course at a UK university. So I'll just introduce myself really briefly and give us an overview of what the webinar is going to look like. But first of all, I would like Paul just to give us a really brief welcome first of all, and then I'll run us through the schedule for today. So Paul, over to you.
All right, thank you for that, Emma. So my name is Paul Kouassi. I work with the British Council Arts and Culture team, and I'm based in Ghana, West Africa. I run a program, or I manage a program called the So Creative e-learning program. And as part of Ghana's Creative Economy Week this year, we decided to extend opportunities that we've been sort of planning and thinking around for creatives. The idea is that in running the So Creative e-learning program, we realized that a lot of creators were looking for higher education opportunities, some through, the various in-person So Creative training programs that we've organized. And so really this is our attempt to offer that, to see what this can develop into and to be able to bring more opportunities down the pipeline as we go into the future. And so we're happy to partner with Graduate Guidance Group and the universities on here, and we hope to expand that to more universities as well. So yeah, that's about it.
Thank you so much, Paul, and it's great to be able to collaborate with you. I know what the British Council is doing is really important. The opportunities in the creative industries are huge, and I know especially in West Africa, there are a lot of people who have a lot to offer. And what we're hoping to do today is to be able to kind of bridge that gap. So if you're somebody who's active in that space, you don't necessarily need to compromise on what you would study. You are able to pursue a course at a UK university that is, focusing on the creative sector and that is going to feed into your interests. So just to do a kind of few introductions and the schedule for today. So I will just give an overview of kind of why the UK and what we do at G3 so that you can understand who we are. And then we'll have 3 universities who are going to speak to us today. So the first is Nottingham Trent University, then Birmingham City University, and then Cardiff Metropolitan University. So we'll hear from them in terms of their departments and faculties. What are the things that you can look forward to if you were to study with them on a kind of creative course? And then what I will be doing once they have spoken is to kind of discuss any kind of external funding opportunities that you could also take advantage of if you're looking to study in the UK and you would need some financial assistance. So we'll discuss kind of Commonwealth shared, we'll discuss Chevening, and we'll discuss the kind of great scholarships, and then we'll have some time to talk about the kind of things that you need in order to apply and what the next steps might be. So who is Graduate Guidance Group? So we are an educational kind of consultancy. We also take a lot of interest in career opportunities and networking. So I'm Emma Tayu, so I'll be with you throughout today's webinar. And essentially what we love to do is to connect people with different opportunities. So practically we support students with their university admissions. We offer guidance on funding opportunities. We offer support with the visa process. And then we also create opportunities to network both in the UK as you arrive, but also we hold a number of events for UK alumni to also network once they're back home in their countries. So we've had events in Kenya, Nigeria, and Ghana in the last few months that were kind of specifically looking at alumni and networking, as well as supporting incoming students. So you can follow us on Instagram. We've got a team that's kind of based across the continent. A number of them are on today's call as well. And so really what we love to do is to support you through kind of working out what your options are in the UK, and really kind of understanding, okay, what is right for me? Sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming when you're looking at the UK. There's 150 different universities. Some of them are in London, some are outside of London. Some come with a work placement, some don't. Some will have specific kind of portfolio requirements. Some will have specific kind of English language testing requirements, perhaps beyond what is advertised. So depending on what you're doing and so on, we're here to support through that process. So that's the kind of overview of who we are and what we're going to do. So I will talk a lot more in detail once we've heard from our guest speakers in terms of the exact kind of processes that you would need to go to, the documents that you need for your applications, and like I said, you know, different kind of general funding opportunities that do exist. So I'm now going to bring us up to our first speaker, which is Wallace, who's joined us from Nottingham Trent University. And so Wallace, I don't know if you are able to share your screen and kind of come on and be able to start.
Hopefully I will be able to share my screen.
Yeah. So I've stopped sharing, so you should be able to share from your side. Yeah.
Oh, it seemed to. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, just give me a second. I can share my screen. This might just take a couple of minutes because it's got lots of images on it, but
that's fine.
I'm hoping it will just open soon. It's there, so it should be opening.
Is it loading from your side?
It seems to be. Or it should be.
So are you happy for me to hand over to you? Do you want to start just with kind of introducing yourself whilst it's loading?
Yeah, I'll just introduce myself and my university. So we've lost it on the screen. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It just takes a little bit of time. Okay. Can everyone see that okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Wallace Murdoch. I'm Head of Academic Projects at Nottingham School of Art and Design, and I'm joined by my colleague, Billy Mawson-Harris from our international office. So what I'm going to do today is just talk through a little bit about Nottingham, a little bit about the university, and quite a lot about our School of Art and Design and the types of creative courses that we actually sort of offer. So I'm going to talk about Nottingham Trent University, NTU, and NSA&D, which is Nottingham School of Art and Design. Nottingham is a reasonably small city. We have a population of 330,000 people, but we actually have a very large student population because we have two major universities, because we have over 70,000 students. We're based in the centre of the UK. One of our key focuses as an organisation and an institution is employability. So we have one of the largest central employability teams within the university sector, and each school has an employability manager which is a key focus for students to navigate their future while they're still within the university. We're one of the oldest universities and schools of art and design in the UK, and the School of Design was actually established in 1843. And the School of Art and Design is in the top 100 QS rankings. We've got approximately 40,000 students within our university. 19% of those students are international students, and they come from over 160 different nationalities. So we've got a broad range of students from a wide variety of different countries. The School of Art and Design has subjects across a wide range of areas. We've got fashion, textiles and knitwear. We've got fashion management, marketing, communication. We've got design and digital arts, and we've got music, events and esports. The presentation is going to focus predominantly on our postgraduate provision, but this just gives you an indication of the range of subjects that we actually cover within the School of Art and Design. We've got a wide range of postgraduate courses within the creative making subject areas. I guess the distinctive features of our postgraduate is really the MAs provide a platform for very diverse and creative thinking. And we really want our students to drive the future of the creative industries. And we want both on our MAs and our MScs students to be agents of change and actually be innovative, take risks and explore and solve problems that are appropriate to their particular context. The key thing about master's study is it can be very much personalised. Although we actually have a structured set of modules, students have the opportunity to personalise that at master's level. And we're very much getting students to think about social, political, environmental and technological issues that focus on both local and global perspectives. And we really want students to develop a deeper understanding of their particular subject, whether that be traditional craft or digital practice or wider technological developments. So the modular structure within our school provides opportunities for students to work across different subject areas. So community building is incredibly important, and interdisciplinarity within the creative fields is something that we see as very important. Our optional modules enable students to build very much a bespoke learning experience that's very much geared towards the individual's professional future. So many of our students use the Masters to develop a portfolio of work that they take to then navigate their future. And international initiatives are embedded across our curriculum. And again, design responsibility is embedded within our curriculum, and students have the opportunity to undertake a separate sustainability and practice award along with a master's degree. And that's because NTU's credentials in terms of sustainability are very important. We are the second most sustainable university in the world, and we take those credentials very, very seriously. So our courses are built in very different ways across each subject area, but we've actually got a clear structure that provides students with a framework. And I'm going to focus on the FTK courses, which is the fashion, textiles and knitwear courses to start. So we have an MA in fashion design. We have an MA in fashion and creative pattern cutting. We've actually found that a number of our African students have really found this particular course very useful. What this course does, it enables students to focus on the technical aspects of the fashion industry and garment construction. So many students have done an undergraduate and approached it in a very creative way. But the creative pattern cutting enables them to develop a master's program that really hones in on the technical skills that very often they may need within industry. We have an MA in knitwear design, an MA in textile design, and a new MSc in material and technology futures. And this course is actually designed for students who maybe have studied a creative subject, they may have studied a science subject, they may have studied more of an engineering approach. And it's really focused on students that are looking to explore and develop new technology. We have a research centre that very much focuses on new and innovative practices within the fashion and textile subject area. This particular programme, we would expect students to provide us with a short study proposal, so we know that we can provide what the student in this case wants. Our course structure, as I say, we've adopted a very structured approach. So students will undertake across all our provision. They'll undertake 4 modules. We start by a collaborative module, which we call Culture and Collaboration. And that's where students from across the School of Art and Design work collectively to sort of engage with how different practitioners engage with design research and design thinking. Students then will undertake a 40-credit module in situating their practice, where they'll explore their individual creativity and where they want to take that in the future. Then across term 2 and 3, there's a 100-credit module where students will undertake a major project. But running alongside that, students have actually got the option to take either a professional futures module or an advancing research module. And as you can see with the creative pattern cutting, the structure is similar, but the actual course titles are slightly different. So the modules are very much, the school-wide module is very much looking at cultural emergency and actually looking at how students can actually create collaboratively. Students will then either do within fashion, textiles and knitwear, situating their practice, where they'll actually undertake a series of workshops and seminars and really discover who they are creatively and where they want to go in the future. The creative pattern cutting course will very much look at the application of new technologies within the creative pattern cutting industry and how they can apply that to their particular creative practice. And then the optional module in terms of advancing research, this module has actually been designed for students who are thinking of going to higher level study, such as MPhil or PhD. And it actually gives students an overview of what it's like to sort of develop sort of a research portfolio. And the other optional modules in fashion, textiles and knitwear is very much a module that looks at where you might want to go in the future. So it looks at the future of your particular industry and the job opportunities that might be available, and then what you may do as a creative individual to develop your portfolio of work or make yourself employable. And then all students will do a final 100-credit major module, whether it be in pattern cutting or within one of the design subjects. I'm going to show you a number of different outcomes that students have developed on these courses to really give you an insight into the diversity of what students will actually do. This particular image shows a fashion knitwear student has actually looked at sort of multidisciplinary sort of garment application, and have actually looked at developing a series of modular structures that they can actually use to develop garments and customize those garments in very, very different ways to actually develop a product that can be very bespoke for the individual who actually buys the product. These are some examples of that work. Other approaches to fashion knitwear. And then we've got fashion design students who may look at design, they may look at styling, they may look at different ways of approaching the fashion product. Students may produce a small collection, they may produce one-off bespoke garments. It's really up to the individual how they develop that particular body of work. Many of our students are looking at how they can actually integrate technology into the garments. So in these cases, students have actually looked at how the technological application can actually work within the garment development. And we have an advanced textile design research centre that actually supports some of our programmes. Again, we've had students who've done a fashion design master's only using digital approaches to fashion. So they've used the latest technology in terms of developing their particular product. One of our key strengths is our resources. We have great resources across our whole provision. We have a wide range of both analog and digital resources. So our students have access to the latest technology, but also they can actually develop the work that they choose to develop in a more craft-based way, if that's what they actually choose. So we've got very traditional and much more sophisticated technology for students to actually use. Again, the sustainability focus is a real key for what we do across our school. And these are some of the different jobs that students have got within the fashion and textile industry. So they cover a wide range of different approaches and a wide range of different jobs. Another set of programs that we have that have a number of our African students are interested in are our fashion management, marketing and communications programs. You don't need a portfolio for these particular courses, but they're very much about giving students an overview of how the global fashion industry actually works and where they might fit within that. So again, we've had students who've studied fashion, but we've also had students who've studied business. We've had students that have studied psychology, and they have actually developed a broader understanding of how the fashion industry actually works. The modular structure is similar, but there is more options in terms of the optionality on this course. And particularly the first module, the fashion industry module, that really gives students an understanding of how the fashion industry actually works if they come from a non-fashion background. So we've got fashion communications, which looks at how we actually develop communication messages for the fashion industry. We've got fashion marketing that looks at consumer behavior, market research and analysis. We've got international fashion management, which really looks at how management structures work across the fashion industry. And then we've got a very popular course, which is our luxury fashion brand management. And that looks at luxury brand management across a range of global approaches. Students on this course can either do a very traditional sort of dissertation or a brand product, or they can again be much more creative in the approach that they take. And that is very flexible and it's very negotiable with individual students. The key thing for the FMMC courses is the student's personal statement. Because the students don't need a portfolio, it's very, very important that they give us an insight into who they are creatively, who they are and what their ambitions are for the future within a short personal statement. We've also got a number of other MA programs within our school. We've got MA Graphic Communication, MA Animation, MA Illustration, MA Photography, Filmmaking, and we've got an MFA in Fine Art. And again, we've got another new MSc in Creative Technologies, which is again for students that really want to explore the whole digital aspect and how they can actually explore the technology within sort of digital design. Again, the modular structure is similar, but very much focused on the particular subject area. And we've recently opened a £45 million building, which is our new design and digital arts building. And that has got the latest technology that's available across the School of Art and Design, but it has a particular digital focus. We opened it in September 2024, and it actually has some of the latest technology in terms of moving image, digital screen arts and visual communication. So we've got an immersive opportunity where students can actually do projection mapping using the latest technology. We've got a double height green screen room that students can actually use to sort of explore not only within design and digital arts, but also within fashion retail, within fashion design. We've got a motion capture facility where students can actually sort of explore different approaches to using sort of lighting and cameras within that space. And we've got one of the largest production spaces within sort of the UK where students can really explore different areas within the sort of digital space. So the technology is there across a wide range of different subject areas. My colleague Billy is going to talk a little bit about our music courses. I don't know if you can unmute. Are you there, Billy?
I'm here. Thank you very much, Wallace. That was an amazing overview. Yes, hello everyone. My name's Billy and I work in the International Development Office here at Nottingham Trent University. So supporting all of our applicants applying from across West Africa. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit, we'll give you a few insights into our music related facilities. So here at Nottingham Trent University, we also have a live events music venue. It's multi-purpose, so we can use it for standing events and seated events, and that's for our students to not only perform, but also for our events production students to get involved with events management and different kind of events that happen throughout the year. And we, of course, have some incredible facilities, including audio production, software, recording studios, access to all the kind of technologies and also musical instruments and technologies that exist within the realm for all of our music business and production and audio production students. So some incredibly high-end facilities used by professionals, so students are gaining the skills that they need to go and flourish in their careers moving forward. If you could just pass over to the next slide, Wallace.
Oh, is it not doing that? Oh no. Let me see. There we go.
Awesome,
I'll
thank
let
you.
you do the
So,
scholarship and I'll show this
yes.
short video at the end.
Oh, great. Okay. So we're on the scholarship slide at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice one. So yes, I've also got the important job of telling you about our tuition fees. So for our undergraduate fees within the School of Art and Design here at NTU, they start at £18,250 per year. And for our postgraduate fees, they start at £17,850. And of course, we also have a campus that's recently opened in London where the fees are £19,900 per year. However, we also have some amazing scholarships which we offer purely to international students here at Nottingham Trent University, and we have a range. So how you apply is just applying to the course, receiving an offer, and then you're able to apply for one of our international scholarships, with the maximum scholarship we offer being a 50% tuition fee discount. And then as you can see on the slide there, a range of other tuition fee discounts and scholarships as well, even offering things such as sibling scholarships for brothers and sisters that might be joining us too. So that is everything from me. I'll pass back over to you, Wallace. Thank you very much.
I'm just going to show you a very quick video of our new building so that you can see what we actually do. So that gives you an overview of the School of Art and Design at Nottingham Trent University. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Wallace and Billy, for giving us a really detailed overview of all of those different branches that exist at Nottingham Trent. There's truly kind of lots that it's going on, and it's really exciting. I can see there are a few questions coming in for NTU. So if you have questions, do put them into the chat, and we'll try and reply to those in the chat as we're going on. So I'm now going to invite our next speakers from Birmingham City University. So we have Rebecca Skeels with us, and I believe we also have Charles McGee and Tito B. So I'm not sure who's presenting first, but the floor is over to you. So Charles, Rebecca, and Tito B, if you'd like to begin your presentation, I'm just keeping an eye on the time. So we will have time for general Q&A later on. But in the meantime, if you've got any specific Q&A for NTU, do put those into the chat, and we'll kind of start replying to those in the chat as we go. But Toby, Charles, who's sharing? I think you should be able to share.
Yeah, Toby is about to play the video or BCU strategy, and then Rebecca will do her PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Okay, Toby, I can see your screen. That's great.
Can you see it? Okay.
Yes, we can. Yeah. So do you want to make it full screen before you press play?
Yeah.
Fantastic. That looks great. Yeah. All right. Okay, so over to you. I'm not getting any sound, only images.
No sound? You said?
There's no sound, Toby.
No, there's no sound coming out when you're sharing. Guys, we might have to view it without the sound and then share the link in the chat.
Okay, I think
everybody can watch it in their own time as well.
Yeah. All right. So I think I will hand over to Rebecca now, or Charles.
We'll hand over to Rebecca, and then we'll play the video at the end.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I'll just share my screen.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Rebecca. So Rebecca's a senior lecturer and course director in the School of Jewelry, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll show you some information about the School of Jewelry first, because we're on two different sites. We work together, but we do some things differently. So I'll talk about both schools in the College of Jewelry, Fashion, Textiles. So the college has a global view for the future, and it focuses a lot on craft skills, creative digital transformation, providing lifelong learning and transferable skills. And we've got a lot of heritage and craft alongside each other. And we have a few pillars for our college. So we focus on craft skills, craftsmanship, sustainability, innovation, research and enterprise, entrepreneurialism and STEAM. In Birmingham, we're the city of 1,000 trades, so we're a world-class city. We've got about 80,000 students from around the world, and we have this long heritage and a thriving jewellery trade. The School of Jewelry is in the... Can you actually see my slides? Sorry, just check.
Yes, we can see them. Looks great.
Okay. So studying in the School of Jewelry, you will actually be in the jewelry quarter amongst the jewelry trade. So a lot of the jewelry trade in the UK is in this quarter. It has 4 areas of the UK, but mostly in the jewelry quarter, and a lot of production as well as retail, and lots of opportunities for the students. We're one of the largest and most significant schools in the world, and we're housed over 3 sites within the jewelry quarter. One is the Birmingham Assay office, one is St Paul's Square, where our PhD students' library and IT suite is, and then Victoria Street is the ones that you can see in the picture, with a variety of courses. I'll run through those in a moment. We also have a Centre for Design and Digital Manufacturing, which we like to call the Tech Hub, where we have a lot of 3D printing, digital technologies for the students to use. We've won quite a lot of awards. These are some more recent ones. So we had students that made the medals for the Commonwealth Games. They designed them as different teams, and different teams were brought together to put them into production with a local company. We were the base for the series All That Glitters, the BBC TV programme. And then the retail jewellers do a selection every year of 30 up and coming rising stars. And we had 6 of those rising stars were our recent graduates. Oh, sorry. We have workshops and facilities. So we have studios for all of the students to use, but we also have shared spaces in the hearth areas, technology in the basement, machine shop, so engineering side. Some other awards that we have won. So there's a Jewellery Oscars in the UK every year, and we have won the college trophy 8 out of the last 9 times. We let it go 1 year, which is a bit of a shame, but 8 out of 9 times. And this is for the jewellery trade as well as for students and recent graduates. We have lots of graduate opportunities. So we have, at the end of the course, students will go and do an exhibition in Paris for Paris Couture Fashion Week. Harvey Nichols display our students' work from fashion, textiles and jewellery. We do new designers. We've been to Milan and Slovenia. So lots of opportunities for students to showcase depending on where their career lies and where they've discovered that they would like it to go to. We also do lots of research and enterprise. So this is Staffordshire Hoard. There's a current research programme with Cambridge University, and so our technical hub have been working on both of these projects. So there's opportunities with companies to work within the university, as well as students work with those companies and organisations, so they're getting lots of real life experience. Our programmes include a foundation year, which is for jewellery, gemology and horology, and they get direct entry on completion and passing that course into those areas. So our gemology programme is a Bachelor of Science, Gemology and Jewellery Studies, which is the study of gems and where they would come from, originated, as well as some of the more man-made stones. We have HND in Jewellery and Silversmithing, which is a 2-year course, more traditional skills combined with computer-aided design and computer-aided technologies. And a lot of these students will go and work in the trade in the jewellery quarter, or they will go on to do the BA Jewellery and Silversmithing Design for industry top-up year, which will give them that undergraduate course. Again, mostly focused on traditional style jewellery with a bit of their own design, but also within the industry. So they'll go and work in the trade. We also have a BA Honours in Horology, which is the study, the repair, restoration and making of clocks and watches. It's the only BA honours in the country and one of 3 places where you can study horology in the country. State-of-the-art facilities and equipment. And other undergraduate courses, BA Honours Jewellery and Objects, which is a 3-year undergraduate course where students will learn about making, design, but also the broad options within the jewellery industry. So they might go and become jewellers or object designers or makers, designer makers, or curators, or work in the retail industries. They will discover that through experiences on the course. We also have a graduate diploma, jewelry and related products, and this is like a foundation course for the MA courses. So students will develop their design and their making skills to the level that we need. So somebody who's done our BA Jewelry and Objects course won't need to do this. They'll go direct onto the MA. But if a student is coming from an other degree and hasn't quite got the skills that we require, they will do this course. We have MA Jewelry and Related Products. So they'll be doing a lot of research skills and developing their understanding and the depth of knowledge within the jewelry and related products industry. MSc in gemology, and then PhD. There's lots of options within the PhD research route if somebody wants to come and study and do their PhD here. Here's some of the options of the career pathways from across the courses. So we've talked about silversmithing, making, jewelers, but they might become education specialists. They might work in theatre design. They might become self-employed. So there's lots of options depending on where the student finds their main interests and skills. So there'll be a couple of pages for each course. So I'll run through this quite quickly. So the level 3 is the foundation year for BA or the BSc. And they'll get a variety of the basic techniques and processes used for making, but as well as designing and researching and exploring. Gemology and jewelry studies. They'll be identifying gemstones, some exams, but again with state-of-the-art facilities. They'll become valuers or teachers or working within the gemology industry. HND, jewelry and silversmithing. A lot of they do a lot of stone setting and mounting and computer aided design work and computer aided manufacturing. And the top up year for those students, they want to continue. They do a lot of industry-led projects. So, for example, Western Beamer that work across the road, computer-aided design, casting, setting and hallmarking office. The students will do a project with them, so it's a real-life experience. Horology. And the jewelry and objects, the challenging traditions, but also using a lot of the traditional processes and techniques and maybe exploring different materials within that. Again, having live projects, work placement, lots of experience for the students to work out where they'd like to take their career. A graduate diploma. And then the MA Jewelry and Related Products. So that's on our other site at St Paul's Square for some of their teaching, and then back into the workshops in Victoria Street. And PhD. I'll go over to the open day fashion textiles. Might skip a little bit this video because otherwise I won't get a chance to show you all the options on the fashion textiles courses.
Yeah, Rebecca, we have about 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I'll skip the video because it continues for too long. I apologize. So you can see on the fashion textiles, again, lots of different routes. They have a foundation that leads into all of the routes for the fashion textiles. There's BA, Fashion Business Promotion, Fashion Communication, Fashion Design, Textiles Design, and then the postgraduate MA, Fashion Design, Textiles and Surface, Fashion Management, Fashion Communication, and Luxury Brand Management, and an MSc in Sportswear. So they're based at our other campus, which you can see in the images here, and then they also collaborate with Steam House, which is a hub where students do material exploration, but also there's a lot of learning about business skills.
Rebecca,
Yeah.
Just make it full screen. We're just seeing your PowerPoint and the slides beside. Just make it full screen, your PowerPoint.
So that's probably because I was in the video before. Control it. It obviously doesn't like going full screen. Oh, here we go. So you can see to support those courses, we have some print workshops as well as the Steam House, weave, knitting, jacquard, tufting, lots of rooms for stitch and sewing and construction, so lots of pattern cutting spaces, lots of photography studios and green screens. They will do a lot of external trips and fashion futures workshops, so they get a lot of experience and they will get open and exposed to a lot of opportunities while they're on the course, and they have a good series of industry and overseas talks. You see some of the software programs that they'd get introduced to, and like the jewelry school, they will have opportunities to work with different companies and different organisations to showcase their work at the end. Again, depending on which area and which career path they would like to take. There's a big sustainability focus, and that's embedded in all of the courses. They've won some awards for innovation and sustainability. There's lots of support for the students for health and well-being, and lots of opportunities depending whether they need it for their academic writing or whether they need it for other areas of their course. And then like the School of Jewelry, we've got some images that are focused on particular courses. So this is the fashion course that would do some pattern cutting, design work, business work. I think it's trying to put another video.
Hi, Rebecca. I think we've run out of time.
I do apologise. They're not my slides, so I've been given these slides and they're not quite working as well as I'd expected. But if you have any questions, then please do ask.
So, because you're going to see a number of universities' art design faculties, so I thought I would show you just a few of our schools and more in depth than the whole faculty. But if you want to learn more about the faculty, just type in bcu.ac.uk and you will then find details on our art design faculty. It's one of the 5th biggest art design faculties in the UK. But there's a lot more information on the website, and just go into it and then scroll and you'll find a lot about it. So thank you very much for your time. I wanted to play a video, but I'm conscious of time, and so thank you very much for. And just go into it and then scroll and you'll find a lot about it. So thank you very much for your time. I wanted to play a video, but I'm conscious of time, and so thank you very much for allowing us to present today.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Charles. And yes, absolutely. Do put the links to the website and to the YouTube channel in the chat. And then what we will also do is, after today's event, when we send the link to the recording, we'll include some links to each of the university websites and kind of key information as well. So for those that have had trouble kind of with the network, be reassured that you will be able to watch the recording and you will get all of the links. So our next university to present today is Cardiff Metropolitan University. So can I check, Gareth, are you ready and able to share your screen?
Yes, certainly. Thank you very much. Let me just share my screen. Bear with me.
Okay, so Gareth, it's a pleasure to have you with us from Cardiff Metropolitan University. And then we do also have Doyin Adetula, who is on the call, who supports students from West Africa in particular. So I know that as questions come up, I'm sure she'll be monitoring those in the chat. And Doyin, I don't know whether you'll also introduce yourself, but the floor is over to you. So the next 15 minutes are yours, Cardiff Met. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Great.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, just starting slideshow. Hopefully you can see the slideshow okay.
Yeah, we can see that nice and clear.
Right. Lovely, thank you very much. Good. Hello, so my name's Gareth Barham. I'm a principal lecturer here in the Cardiff School of Art and Design at Cardiff Metropolitan University. And there we go. And we call ourselves the capital of creativity. So Cardiff being the capital city of Wales. We're a very friendly city, quite a good sized city, quite a diverse city as well. And being the capital of Wales, we have a lot of opportunities for creative people, whether pursuing jobs or education within our city. So in the Cardiff School of Art and Design, we're very fortunate to enjoy a high employment rate. We have over a 96% employment rate for all our graduates across all of our courses. Because we're a relatively small city, as a capital city of Wales in the UK, we're the UK's second most affordable city for student living. And we're also very proud of our sporting facilities we have. Many of our students come and study with us because they are keen athletes or keen to engage with sport. And it's university policy actually not to have classes on Wednesday afternoons. It gives our students the chance to join the various different sports societies and to represent the university in that field as well. Yeah, and also because I think of the nature of the territory where we are within the School of Art Design and the creative industries, universities recognise that we need to give a lot of support to our students. So whether it's for the mental health and well-being, or for disability or money advice. So we have plenty of opportunity to support students, throughout all aspects of their educational journey and time with them here at Cardiff Met. So we're the School of Art Design, and we're very fortunate we have some relatively new facilities, new building, and when we ask our students here why they chose to study with us when they arrive every September, they always say it's because of the facilities, the studio equipment, the workshop equipment, the building and the friendly staff. So we have a number of different undergraduate courses in 5 different departments. So we have a range of architecture courses from the architecture, which is accredited by the Association of British Architects. We have our interior design courses, our architectural design technology course, and a new course for us is interior architecture, starting in September 25. We have graphics, illustration, and animation, as well as then textile design. Our artist designer maker course is quite similar to other universities might call this 3D design. It's an opportunity for people to engage in different materials. We have students on that course making items from small pieces of jewelry up to large scale furniture. And the ceramics course we run, I think, is one of only 3 bespoke ceramics courses in the UK that deal with clay as a material in its own right. Many other universities will offer ceramics with glass and ceramics as part of other programs, but very few will actually offer a bespoke ceramics course, so ours is one of those. We have our fashion design courses. We also have 2 product design courses, a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Science, taking slightly different approaches to problem solving and the way that they engage with users and integrate technology within the products. And then we have our fine art programs and our photography course, which is quite closely linked to that program as well. We're very fortunate as well that many of our students stay on with us to study on our postgraduate courses. So we have a number of master's courses, and these give our students a choice whether to focus within their discipline and to hone in skills within their programs, or whether they're diversifying and using the skills that they developed at undergraduates in a more diverse way, whether it's seeking business perspective on what they're doing if they wish to set up as entrepreneurs or individual artists and makers, or whether they wish to understand how they might apply their skill set across a more diverse range of employment opportunities. So why do we do this? Why go to university is a question that I quite often get asked when I speak to students and applicants at recruitment fairs. And that we have other ways that students can develop skills here in the UK, apprenticeships being one of those. And I always answer to say that yes, you could go and join a graphics agency or a firm of architects, and you could develop the skills that you need, to operate as a graphic designer, as an architect. But what you'll end up doing is just repeating the same practice over and over. And it's the value of going to university, but any university, is that actually you understand, why you're operating as a graphic designer or as a creative person, and more importantly, how you can change the world for a better place. We through the sort of philosophical development of our students' creativity, they understand, perhaps develop a strong moral compass and take a more ethical approach to the work they do to improve people's lives, and not just at the pursuit of monetary profit. So at Cardiff Met, we do this in a number of ways, and there are 3 strains or 3 flavours, if you like, that run through our learning and teaching strategy. So we develop students' skills as practitioners, how to actually physically be creative within their chosen field. We help students develop their academic ambitions. And in fact, many students will stay on and do masters and PhDs with us. And we have students who maybe wish to take a more entrepreneurial perspective on what they do, with a view to actually setting up their own businesses when they graduate. And I have many students who are running successful businesses now who come back and running live projects with us, and offering our graduates jobs in their own creative consultancies. So this is really important because we're preparing students not only to be practitioners in the field, to have the competency and the skill sets in the subjects that the courses they've enrolled onto, but actually we're preparing our graduates to be more flexible, to prepare for quite an undecided workplace. practitioners in the field to have the competency and the skill sets in the subjects that the courses they've enrolled onto. But actually, we're preparing our graduates to be more flexible, to prepare for quite an undecided workplace. The world's rapidly changing. Think back over the last 6 years, the world is a very different place today than it was back then for a number of reasons. And in fact, many of our graduates and many of our first year students who are with us now, who think they've joined, a fashion course or graphics or product or textiles, will be applying for jobs, with those titles, so those names in the titles. But in fact, they're also applying for jobs that we don't yet know exist. I mean, I've got product design students who are working as experience designers. I've got fashion design, I've got fine art graduates who are working in the creative film industries. Who'd have thought that a user experience designer would be a job title, 8 to 10 years ago, and it is very much today. So we equip our students with these graduate capabilities and mindsets where they understand, how they can apply their learning across a diverse range of field job descriptions. And we quite like, a certain degree of ambiguity. In fact, we encourage our students to actually be confident in an ambiguous age, where they're not certain at the moment, where their careers might be taking them, because we give them the skill sets to understand, when they do graduate, actually how they can apply, what jobs they can apply for. So our graduates, we build into everything we do, the assignment briefs, the learning and teaching strategies, different types of output from our students. In the students' presentations, we ask them to consider their ethical approach and ethical position on a topic. This is incredibly rewarding, I think, for when we work with our students in the graphics industry and the fashion industry. I challenge my fashion students, can you operate as a fashion designer without actually making a garment? Especially when we're understanding that the dangers or the problems associated with fast fashion, not just on the depletion of the world's sort of physical resources, but also actually on the harm it does to actually young consumers' mental health and well-being. We develop graduates' digital mindsets to be flexible and adaptable in an ever-changing digital world. Understanding global perspectives, global cultural understanding of ourselves through the lens of cultural others is something that threads through everything we do. And we encourage our students to be entrepreneurial, and not just in the literal sense where we want them to be entrepreneurs when they leave here, but also entrepreneurial in their mindsets, thinking about how can they identify and exploit many different opportunities in the design briefs that we set them. So we're very fortunate, that a lot of our academic staff and our technical staff are actively researching, developing new ways of thinking, new ways of doing. One of our technical demonstrators in the photography department is looking at reducing the cost on the environment from developing the chemicals that are used to develop film, and just trying to find more natural ways of doing this, using more natural materials. We have Laura, one of our technicians in the fine art department, looking at natural dyes for paint pigments, and collaborating actually with our textiles team, where we have a natural dye garden here on the campus where we're growing plants which will add natural pigments to allow our students to actually dye fabrics and materials without the use of chemicals or artificial colorings. So, we're considered joint 12th in the UK for our research environments and top 7 in the UK in the art and design sector for research impact. And it's our research from our colleagues which really inform the teaching at all levels of study, undergraduate and postgraduate. So we do this, we run very much what we call a studio culture. We encourage our students to be in 5 days a week. There is a lot of one-to-one tuition. Students will have access to and engagement with staff, whether it's academic staff or technical staff, for 4 of the 5 days of the week. Students have places where they work in their studios. There's workshops and facilities are well facilitated and maintained. And the students engage in 3 different types of module over the time that they're with us. And we group our modules across all 3 years of the undergraduate programme into what we call the subject, the field and the constellation. So the subject modules is where the students develop the practice. They understand the skills that they need to develop, to be a fashion designer, to be an architect, to be an illustrator. They may engage with workshops, learning how to use particular software. They may, or equipment or machinery. They may be running a particular design creative project, which may be supported by a lecture, a seminar, and then working in the studio space with staff walking around the studio, talking to students on a one-to-one basis and encouraging them to present their work and problem solve their work in these kind of live and supportive environments. Then we're very fortunate that, of course, the programs then engage with live competitions or with what we call live briefs with industry. So here we see a number of graphic students, so award successes from the last couple of years. And it's these national and international awards that actually highlight our students' skills on a global level. And in fact, if you think about, the typical jobs that our students are applying for, they may ask for students with 1 or 2 years experience. And in fact, our students, when they graduate from our university, they have creative work in their portfolios, which are illustrative of 1 or 2 years of commercial experience, whether it be competitions or live projects with real clients. Then we have the next range of modules is what we call the field. And this is where students test their creative skills in the field, whether it's live projects with clients, working collaboratively as a team. In fact, our collaboration projects, we quite often bring students together from different disciplines. So we may have illustration, animation and graphic students collaborating together on a short project for 5 or 6 weeks, or product design students and fashion students working together. It's these interdisciplinary skills, the understanding of how students can negotiate their input into a creative project that we find that employers are really looking for and makes our graduates really, really employable. So they exercise and test these in these collaboration projects. And then as well as the field, we have our constellation modules. And the constellation is the written element. So all honours degrees, undergraduate degrees require a certain form of critical reflective writing. Now, this is a series of essays during the first and second years at university, leading up to a formal 8,000-word written dissertation thesis alongside students' practical exhibition of work in the final year. And this is where the students get to set out what they think behind their work. It's their philosophical critical position, the academic attitude, if you like, where they understand, what the philosophical reasoning is that supports their creative practice. And this is what I tell my students, when they're going for an interview for a fashion agency or a product design consultancy or an architect firm, that they will have work in their portfolio that's just as good, just as skillful as any other candidate for that job. But when they're asked by the people in the interview, how they're going to make a contribution to the commercial success of that business, our students know straight away, and this is because of their research they've done. They understand how and why that they can make a change for the better. We always think about how we can change people's lives for good, improve the quality of life, and we can do this, through the practical work we do as artists and designers and creative people. So we have we celebrate the work our students do in the dissertations. If anybody were to scan this QR code now, it would take you to online availability of our episodes where we ask students to put into a online blog talking about their dissertation theses. And they talk about the philosophical approach to the thinking behind their creativity. And finally, just to finish off, we like to get to know every student who applies to us. We interview everybody, whether it's here on campus or more likely with your applicants through Microsoft Teams. We like to know what our students' ambitions are, what they hope to do with their degree, and why they wish to study with us. I always say that there's 2 uni stats that people should research before they join university. One is the employment rate, so how many graduates are in graduate level employments after they leave a university course, and the other one being retention. That is how many students are still on the course by the end of the first term. And I think this comes about through the engagement that we have in understanding our students, are they the right student for the right course before they join us. So there we are. That sums up the Cardiff School of Art and Design at Cardiff Metropolitan University in a very short and brief way. I'll be very happy to any questions that may be for us. Thank you. Maybe I should stop sharing.
That's great. Thank you so much, Gareth. So we've had, I think, really rich insights into 3 kind of really top schools of art and design, and I'm sure those that are on the courses on this webinar are starting to kind of see, you know, where there are things that are unique and maybe where there are things that you can find across different cities. And so one of the wonderful things about sessions like today is to be able to find out, okay, I'm interested in this and I can see that there's a real niche, or actually I can see that this is available. And then we now have to go into kind of looking at actually which city do you think is going to be right for you? You know, what are the extracurricular things as well that are available outside of the class? But what I always tell people is that first and foremost, you should find a course that meets your expectations. You know, you should not be compromising in terms of what you want to study, what you want to do within the classroom. And you've got to have a really good understanding of, you know, who's going to be teaching you, what are you going to be studying, what are the facilities. And I think we've had that really good insight from our speakers from Nottingham Trent, from Birmingham City, and from Cardiff. So I'm now going to speak a little bit more in terms of what to do if you actually want to get your admissions. And then I've got waiting to speak a current student as well, who is going to share his experiences in a few minutes as well. So yeah, so there was that big question in terms of, you know, why study? If you're looking at doing a master's program, you know, why is it that you want to go and do it? I think that was a really good question that came up. If you're practicing in the arts already, you know, what is it that a master's course or even an undergraduate course, if you've not yet studied it kind of formally, what is that going to bring to you? So you do want to always kind of think about what your motivations are. What is it that you want to get from the course so that you can meet all of those different objectives that you have. So as you're looking at the different courses, obviously we've kind of spoken a lot about kind of course content, the kind of profile, the location, and then there are those other factors that I know are really big to consider in terms of, you know, what are the costs and what are the funding opportunities. So I'll come to those in a minute or two. So first and foremost, you know, identify a course that you are interested in, and it's great to see lots of kind of comments and questions in the chat, you know, sharing links. You should be looking at the different course websites, kind of find the course that you're interested in, check that you meet the entry criteria, both in terms of academics, in terms of English language, and particularly with courses that are related to the arts, sometimes there will be a kind of portfolio or an interview kind of component as well. So make sure that you have what is needed for the course, and then prepare the different kind of documentation that would be needed for that. So what we at the Graduate Guidance Group would do is to kind of check, okay, have you got your transcript? Have you got your certificate? If your course needs a CV, have you got that? Have you got a valid piece of ID? Have you been able to express why you want to do that particular course? And have you got kind of recommendation letters and so on? So we help you to kind of prepare your documents, your folder, so to speak, of all the things that might be needed. And we will be at the British Council next week during the kind of Creative Enterprise Week as well, if you want to meet us in person for any Ghanaians. If you're not Ghanaian, you can reach out to info@g3africa.com, or if you're already in contact with one of our country leads, then you can also reach out to them as well. If you're not sure of who to reach out to, we'll be more than happy to guide you. Now, the big question that then comes up is always about funding opportunities, and there are lots of different funding opportunities to study in the UK. The criteria and the value will vary enormously. And so there will be some that are based on your nationality. There'll be some that are based on your kind of extracurricular activities, some that might be kind of based on an interview. You know, there's maybe 3 or 4 kind of slots available for a particular course, and it will be based on interview. And so really you want to kind of research and understand what the criteria might be, and then, you know, what the value is, and look at different bodies that are providing those funding opportunities. So the universities themselves have a number of scholarships. We've already heard from our speakers that the universities themselves do have awards. NTU earlier mentioned that they have some scholarships that go up to 50% of the tuition. Cardiff Met also put their link for scholarships in the chat. You can have a look and see that, you know, for some nationalities, you might even get an automatic reduction. So do have a look at kind of what is provided by the universities themselves. Then we have funding that is awarded by different government bodies. So I'm going to talk about the different UK scholarships in a minute, but sometimes it's worth looking out to see what there might be from industry or kind of different international and philanthropic organizations as well. So I always tell people, look at every opportunity that exists and put your name into as many hats as possible to be considered. So the first scholarship that I'll mention are the Great Scholarships. So there's over 200 scholarships. Each of these is worth £10,000. If you go to the British Council website, you will be able to filter that based on your nationality to kind of see which universities are partnering, which courses are eligible, and see if there's something that aligns with you. I know that in some cases there might be kind of additional funding as well that is matched to that, so it's worth exploring and looking at the Great Scholarships. This is for courses starting in September 2025, and there are different kind of deadlines to bear in mind. Some universities will close the applications earlier than others, so don't delay in terms of applying for that. If you kind of see a course that is of interest, do reach out and we'll be happy to support you. The next scholarship that I want to kind of mention is the Chevening Scholarship. So this is funded by the UK government, and this is a full scholarship which covers both your tuition and provides you with a stipend, as well as a number of extracurricular kind of networking and training opportunities whilst you're in the UK. The great news about Chevening is that it will fund any master's course at any UK university. So any of the master's programs that have been mentioned during today's calls could potentially be funded by Chevening. It does, however, have a huge amount of competition, and there are some very strict kind of criteria with respect to kind of work experience that you must have and leadership potential as well, because part of the criteria is that you will return to your home country to make an impact and to take up a leadership role in your sector. And so if you're coming from the art sector, if you're somebody that has influence, you should be considering this. Don't think that it's only for kind of traditional courses such as public health or engineering. It is open to individuals from all sectors, and we'll have a presentation in just a couple of minutes from a current Chevening scholar as well. The thing to mention with Chevening is that the deadline for this is in November of each year, the beginning of November. So for September 2025, the deadline has actually passed. However, if you do think that you fit the profile for this, it could be that if you're not able to get other opportunities for September 25, then you can start to plan from now against September 2026. Now, the UK government does also have the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, and this is actually open for applications. The deadline is 4 p.m. on Thursday. So I've highlighted just 5 courses that are not pure arts, but have some kind of relation to those maybe that are in the creative sector. So there's a fashion management course, for example, that is listed as part of the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. So you can have a look at that and just see if, again, you think that you might fit with this. Now, the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship definitely has a very heavy focus on the Sustainable Development Goals. So the questions that you would need to answer are, you know, why should you be sponsored? What's the relevance of the course to development in your country? We heard some of our speakers speaking about sustainability, in particular in the kind of creative sector, in the fashion industry. So those are maybe things that if you're not currently thinking about what you're doing through that angle, try and think about how framing it in that way is actually going to enable you to apply for not only these scholarships, but also the university scholarships, because a lot of the university scholarships will have questions that you have to answer, especially if the scholarship has a higher value, that you would need to be able to justify and talk about, you know, the relevance and the importance of what you're doing. Now, for those that are interested in maybe kind of PhDs, kind of thinking about how to maybe think more in depth about, you know, the development of a particular creative sector, it's always worth looking at kind of different university websites, again, looking at third-party websites such as findaphd.com, and you may well be surprised that there are actually some funded PhD opportunities that would be looking at the kind of creative sectors and that might be of interest to you. So we'll put all of those links into the chat, and like I said, we'll send an email around after today's session as well that is going to give you the links to all of these different things on there as well. And so yeah, I can see Rob has put in the chat about Chevening. Make sure that, you know, it does fit with the eligibility of how long the course would be. So typically kind of for 12 months, in case you see a course that is kind of 24 months, that might not be eligible. Yeah. So I'm now going to invite Judicael Kouassi to speak. So I don't know if I can see you. Are you able to come onto camera so that you can introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Coco, yeah,
Can
I
you
can
hear
hear you. Yes. So I'm going to hand over to you just for 5 minutes if you're able to just share a little bit about what you're doing and your experiences. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me, Emma. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. So my name is Judicael Kouassi, and what you know about me is like I'm a communication and media professional. I worked in the industry for now around 8 years. I was in Côte d'Ivoire a radio presenter, and I also worked for communication agency as a director. Before that, I worked as graphic designer, and I also worked for an NGO in Ghana as a communication and digital marketing officer. I'm also an alumnus of the yearly ISLC West Africa and the US Africa Media Connection. And what I want you to keep in mind is like I'm a Chevening scholar, and I'm a student in Master of Arts Media Production at Birmingham City University, where I'm the course representative. And I'm so passionate about telling community stories, communities that are very vulnerable, marginalized, and underrepresented. So this is basically my work. I want to use media production to tell community stories. That's why I went on this program, this media production program at Birmingham City University. Next slide, please.
Yep.
And so far, my experience at Birmingham City University has been very valuable for me. And within the Faculty of Art, Design and Media, I had a privilege to have hands-on collaboration. I work with classmates and other students on various television projects. We are currently working on a documentary, which is our city, Birmingham, to spotlight the past, present, and the bright future of Birmingham, where I have the role of co-director and production manager. I also work as a graphic designer on this project. And the learning at Birmingham City University, it is very practical. We have a lot of workshops where we are taught how to use technical tools to make our productions, which I very, very, very like. And this is because of that I chose that university, because I've noticed that the university has a lot of community facilities, technical tools that will help me create these productions that I'm looking for. And it helped me also create multimedia content. And I'm currently working on an audiogram that will talk about the challenges that street performers are facing in Birmingham. And I'm using a lot of technical tools and strategies to work on those kind of content. And my experience in Birmingham City University also helped me grow my network and my career as well, because we are able to participate in various events within our field. Recently, we were in London within the Royal Society Television. So we've learned a lot of things. So far, I can say that I'm happy because it seems like I made a very good choice for my career. So my experience there, I like the way the teaching are delivered, and the academic staff, the lecturers, they are very kind, they are open. When you need something, you just reach out to them, you express your need, and you get what you want. And I really like it. So as you can see on this picture, that was at the city center, Birmingham. I was introducing the documentary that we are making. Next slide, please. And if I'm able to be here today, and if I've got this opportunity to come and study in the UK at Birmingham City University, is because of the Chevening scholarship. Emma just talked about it. It is a very good opportunity, fully funded. You don't have to pay anything at all. You come and study for free in one of the UK's top universities. And just for you to know that if you want to apply for the Chevening scholarship, you don't have to worry about your age. You don't have to worry about your background. You don't have to worry about your religion. They don't care about it. Are you passionate? Are you a leader? Do you want to bring positive impact in your community? Apply for the Chevening scholarship. And for you to be able to apply, you have to get a bachelor degree at least and have 2,800 hours of work experience. So if you are planning to be a Chevener, so start working on those criteria if you don't meet them now. And for those who meet them, I want to share with you some tips that will help you for your application. First of all, I want to advise you to craft a very compelling leadership narrative. One thing about Chevening scholarship is telling your story. All of us, we have a story. You don't have to tell someone else's story. Just tell your story, who you are, what are you passionate about, what are you doing in your community, what you want to do. You have to narrate, and your story with very concrete leadership example. Have you brought change into your community? Talk about it. Are you working on a project? Talk about it. So craft your narrative and be authentic. The next thing I want to talk about is have a clear career goals. Know what you want to do, because most of the people, they have leadership skills, but they don't know what they want to do in their future. And it's kind of be like confused. If the reading committee is reading your essays and your career plan essays, and they don't get where you want to be in the short, mid, and long term, it'll be very difficult for you to get a scholarship. So have a very clear career goals in 5 years from now, where you want to be, who you want to be. In 10 years, who you want to be, where you want to be, and how this is going to affect or impact positively your country, your region, or your community. And the next tip I want to share is showcase networking skills. You know, you cannot grow alone. You need people to grow. You will learn from people. People will learn from you. And you will leverage on people to also grow your career. So in this life, we need people to advance. So you have to talk about your networking skill in school, maybe, in work, in your workplace, in your voluntary work experience. Talk about any kind of network that you were able to use to achieve something. For instance, if you met someone about a project and meeting that person help you achieve your goal about this project, talk about it in your essay. Understand? And finally, I want to advise you to research very widely and thoroughly your university, your programs, the programs that you want to do. Me, for instance, I wanted to do media production. I researched a lot of programs and universities that are delivering this program, and I picked the best for me. So do a lot of research about UK, the British culture, the education system, the rankings, the programs you want to do, what motivates you to go for this program. You have to state it in your application, because for the application, you have the leadership essay, you have a networking essay, you have a study in the UK essay, and you have a career plan essay. So in these 4 essays, you have to showcase that you really research the university, you really stated your leadership example, you really mention about your networking skill, and you are clear with your vision, what you want to achieve. So these are the tips that I would like to share with you today, guys. And if you are able to make it, you will get a scholarship. And the last thing I want you to do is to go on the Chevening website, because you have everything there. These tips that I shared are based on my experience, but I'm sure that if you go to the Chevening website, you have any information that will help you have a very outstanding application. So thank you so much, and see you guys.
Thank you so much, Judicael. And there was a question from somebody that kind of just wanted to know about during the interview, was there anything else that you had to add, or was it kind of focusing on what you had already put in your application? Could you elaborate just a little bit on the interview?
Okay, for the interview, you will be interviewed by 3 or 4 people. It will depend on the country you are based in. And basically, it will be like at the embassy or high commission of your country, or it could be online. For the interview, the panel just want to see if it is you who wrote the essay, if you are the person that you said you are in the essay. And they want to check if you are a really leader, you are a future leader for your community. So they will ask you a question about that. Talk about yourself. Okay. I like this question because this is an opportunity for me to sell myself. So don't be like too involved. No, I will not. I'll just say my name is Judicael, and yes, I want to apply for the Chevening scholarship, and that's all. No, seize that opportunity to sell yourself. Tell who you are, what are you doing, what are you passionate about. Impress the panel, because this is what they want to see. They want to see if you are able to tell in front of them what you wrote on your essay. And they will be assessing you about anything that you wrote on your core essays. For instance, for the leadership essays, they will ask you to give some practical leadership examples. If you say something that is very different from what you put on your essay, I will not recommend you to do so. What I will recommend you to do is, for instance, talk about what you put on your essay, and if this action that you mention on your essay, you have yet like has evolved, just elaborate around it, but you don't mention something very different that you never talk about in your essay. They could think that it is not you who wrote your essays. So it might be very difficult for them. So focus on what you wrote on your essay. And if you see that there are some details that you want to bring to elaborate on it, good, you can do so. They will ask you questions about your university. They will ask you, for instance, why do you want to study media production at Birmingham City University? You have to explain them why do you want to study this course at Birmingham City University. So you have to provide them information like the programs, the modules, the academic staff, how the training, you think the training is going to benefit you, those elements. And what I want to advise you is don't be like stressed, you understand? Be open, be relaxed, be authentic, be natural, understand? Don't stress yourself. If they ask you if you want to drink water, just tell them that yes, I want to drink water. Like
That's great.
Don't put pressure on you. They are human beings. You understand? They are not there to kill you or to eat you. You understand? They are here to help you. Tell them what you said in your essays. I want to say they are here to help you get the scholarship. So
Definitely.
give them that opportunity to select you. Understand?
Awesome. Thank you, Judicael. Sorry, I've just got my eye on the time. So I think I know there were lots of questions in the chat about, you know, kind of funding opportunities and tips, and I think you'll all agree with me that, you know, he's given us a really good insight into not only his experience, but some of those things that you need to think about. You know, very often people see scholarship and it's, you know, oh, it's a free place. It's not a free place. You know, the money is coming from somewhere. Somebody is, you know, is going to have to sign off on you receiving that award, and you've got to be able to justify it. So we've got just over 10 minutes left. I think there's just a couple of questions that I can see have not yet been answered in the chat, and I think maybe it's one that Wallace, I don't know if you're able to maybe help us, and that's what's the process for students who don't have a first degree, you know, in the creatives. Let's say they've done a first degree in engineering or something unrelated, but they're now looking to come and do a master's program in something that, you know, is within the schools of arts and design, or that is kind of media production, etc. Is there any advice that you can give for individuals in that situation? Thank you.
I would say sort of look at what the portfolio requirements may be, because even at undergraduate and postgraduate, there will be very specific portfolio requirements. You may be precluded by some subjects, but not always. Very often what we do is we might see a portfolio partway through the application process to give the students some feedback on that portfolio. I mean, the majority of our students do study undergraduate within a creative discipline and then move to postgraduate, but a lot of courses are much more flexible than they actually used to be. So I always say to students, have a discussion about your portfolio, have a discussion also about what it is that you really want to do. Because I very often meet students who might think they want to do one subject, and then when I see the work that they've produced, I sometimes, you know, can counsel them, and they may look at another subject where they have more skills. So it really is very much about look very carefully at the content of the course, look at the portfolio requirements, and then have a discussion with the institution about exactly what they're looking for within a portfolio. As I say, some courses will be very specific because you do need a specific skill set to move from undergraduate to postgraduate. But I think in both undergraduate and postgraduate, we're simply looking for students to have the potential to grow creatively. So we always, I've talked to a number of students who have not thought they'd quite had the right portfolio. We've advised them to go and develop certain skill sets, and they've actually come back and then they've been applicable. So there's no one size fits all in terms of portfolio. Different institutions will look for slightly different portfolios depending on the content and delivery of the course. So again, it's always really worthwhile looking at specific courses and what they ask for. There's no guarantee if you don't have a creative background that you will get onto a making course, but you may find that actually following discussion with that institution, they may have an alternative course that's actually much more suitable for your particular career aspirations, and also for very often for the skill set that you may have previously developed at undergraduate. So we never say never. We always say that we'll actually have discussions with the individual students. We'll look at where they want to navigate in the future. And then I think be honest, you know, in terms of, do you really have the skill set, for instance, to move from undergraduate to postgraduate within a particular subject?
Thank you. That's basically a call to, really explore what it is that you want to do, what are your strengths, and have conversations. You know, don't always think just I'll put in an application and get rejected, that's the end of it. Actually kind of take advantage of the opportunity to put in your inquiries and see the process as a kind of a process of finding the right course for you. So I can see Rob has also put in some comments as well, just to kind of say that some institutions will also consider HND qualifications. So even if you've not done a full bachelor's degree, that together with a portfolio might also be accepted for entry onto master's programs. So what we will do at G3, is to kind of support with that process, reach out to the relevant admissions teams to get that feedback and really kind of support you through that. What I would add is that we see ourselves as an extension, of the kind of university's student support services. And so our time is covered by the university. So if you do reach out to us with any inquiries and requests for support, do know that we will not charge you for the time that we spend supporting you through the process as well. So that's really great. Yeah. Wallace, is there anything else you wanted to add?
What I would add is that any opportunity you get to meet with someone from the university, take that opportunity, even to show initial development work, because you'll find that actually, the academics will be able to sort of guide you on how you may develop a portfolio further, or different options that you may actually have. So I always say to students, no matter how little work you've got or how much, take that opportunity, have that conversation. Again, that helps you decide if the course, the university is the right university for you. So I spend a lot of my time talking to students at different stages of their journey, and we're very happy to do that, to sort of ensure that the students making the right choice in terms of course and the right institution, because on occasion we might not be the right institution and someone else might be the right institution for what that student wants to actually achieve.
Fantastic. Yeah. So make sure you find the right place for you so that you do have an amazing experience. So I want to say a big thank you to you, Wallace, from NTU, to our speakers, also Rebecca and Gareth from BCU and from Cardiff Met. Thank you also to Billy who joined, Toby who joined, Doyen who joined, Rob, Charles. Thank you all for joining and giving up, your time from the universities to share your insights and your advice with us this afternoon. A big thank you to the British Council for pulling together this session as part of your programming. So Paul, I think at this point, I'm going to hand back over to you. I don't know if you have any closing remarks or announcements that you want to share from your side, but thank you once again for coming up with this proposal and creating time and space for it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Emma. First of all, I want to thank all the speakers from the universities for making it. This has been something the team has been thinking about for some time now, since we started our So Creative e-learning program, and also through our creative enterprise support programs. We realized that creatives across the region really have an appetite for developing their skills and their craft, either in the enterprise side of things or in the technical side of things. And so we wanted to sort of curate this session and develop it further to help them understand what the opportunities are and how they can explore them. I mean, just sometimes being able to bridge the gap of being able to approach you in these institutions and have these conversations. And so we're excited this has happened. We're thinking of it as a first step. We want to get closer with Guide Guidance Group and yourselves, and then see what opportunities we can consistently offer to our creatives on our So Creative Learning platform and across our programs in the region as well. With that said, we've migrated our program to a new platform, and so we'll share that as well. The So Creative Learning program, we revamped the platform that we had. There's a new platform, and we're excited about it. It's super easy to use, and the courses are more interactive as well. And then we also, if you're in Ghana, we invite you to come for the Creative Economy Week. Guide Guidance Group will be there, and so you can get to interact with them. And then you can also meet different creatives who are in the space and are doing amazing work, such as yourself. And so with that said, yeah, thank you so much for making it for today, for all of you who stayed through for all 2 hours, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you very much. And if you're able to react and give a virtual round of applause to all our speakers, then please do that. We have a question. Where is the Creative Economy Week holding in Ghana? Paul, do you want to quickly confirm the time and dates? I believe it's at the British Council itself.
Yes, so it's at the British Council premises itself. It's from the 14th to the 20th of December, so just this weekend. We're starting off with a pop-up market on the 14th and the 15th of December. And so there'll be vendors there, creative vendors, artists, different types of people doing craft all across the spectrum. And then on Monday, we'll have like a film session. On Tuesday, we will have a literature session. Wednesday will be focused on fashion. Thursday will be visual arts, and Friday will be the music sector. And so we're inviting all of you to come. We're working with Accra Fashion Week, Accra Goods Market, Accra Art Week, all the great vendors you know, all the great partners you know to curate the session. So we're looking forward to seeing you there.
Amazing. So, Paul, can you just post the registration link in the chat so that then people can see that and
Okay,
register?
So perhaps what we'll do is that, so we want to send like a feedback form, because we want to see what the impacts of this is, if it's relevant, should we tweak it? So I think we'll send that and we'll share the link as well so that you can see both the link for the event, and then you can also give us some feedback on this session and how we can make it better and more relevant to you as well.
Amazing. All right. So to everybody that has joined, what we'll do is tomorrow morning we'll send you a link to the recording for today, and then we'll also include the information on how to join the Creative Enterprise, the Creative Economy Week, and then we'll also include the links to the different institutions so that you can explore their courses in much more detail as well. So yeah, so thank you everybody for joining, and I wish you all a lovely evening.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emma.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Okay.